Hey guys, Sandeep from RevAtlas, and in today's video we're going to be checking the review of the Asus ROG Phone 2. Stay tuned for all the details that you need to know about this phone as to whether it's the best smartphone at the price point or whether there's something else better or whether this is the ultimate gaming phone that you can buy itself. So before we get started, please do make sure to hit the subscribe button and also give us a thumbs up at the end if you happen to enjoy this video. Now let's talk ROG Phone 2. So let's start off by talking about the design of the ROG Phone 2, and anyone who is actually familiar with the gaming peripherals and laptops from the ROG lineup from Asus would find this very similar. It's very similar in terms of the overall color choices made, the design, the ROG logo is there. So anyone who has any prior experience or has seen an ROG laptop would immediately understand that this belongs to the same series, and in fact this is a gaming centric smartphone. So as a result of it being a gaming smartphone, there have been some design choices made in order to emphasize function over form, or in terms of the function over just the visual or aesthetical aspects of things. So the first thing about that is the bezels itself. The bezels up front is actually pretty big at the top and bottom, pretty big for a modern age smartphone, but not pretty big considering what it offers. So firstly, being a gaming smartphone, you need to have place to rest your fingers, which this actually provides. Having an edge-to-edge screen makes it less ideal for gaming, and this kind of makes it better in that aspect. You also have the dual stereo speakers at the front, which is insane in terms of the volume output, and we'll come to that in a few minutes. But it's insane, and I quite like that they're not just trying to impress everyone with great design, but actually going for a more practical design also, apart from just that. So it is a heavy phone, considering that there's a huge 6000 mAh battery inside it, but I've seen a few people complain about it, and I don't think it's anything to complain about. You either go for a phone with 4000 mAh battery and then complain about not having enough battery life to last you an entire day, especially with heavy gaming and a 120Hz screen, or you put something like a 6000 mAh battery and be content with it. This ROG Phone 2 is not all that heavy, especially when you compare it to the likes of the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Of course, this uses stainless steel in its construction, which adds to its weight, but then 3800 odd mAh compared to 6000 mAh, and you're getting so many more features with the ROG Phone 2, so it kind of is perfectly acceptable in my opinion to have something that's this heavy. But then again, it's not heavy in the sense that the weight is well distributed, so you won't really feel that weight translate to your hands all that often, and the weight is evenly distributed, and even when gaming over long sessions, it's comfortable to hold and to use. In terms of the overall look and feel, it is made of glass, but there is still decent amount of grip considering the sides are matte finished. It is fragile, of course, because it is glass, but then Corning Gorilla Glass 6 is kind of the best that you can get at the moment. The ROG logo is really cool, and I kind of love the way that it changes color and all that. Even these accents over here, subtle accents around the camera, etc. It's a very gamer-like aesthetic, and it looks great. Now on to perhaps one of the main highlights of the ROG Phone 2 itself, which is the display, and it's a huge one at that. It's a 6.59-inch AMOLED panel, but that's not the main thing. It actually has 120Hz refresh rate. Of course, there are other smartphones out there with 120Hz refresh rate, such as the Razer Phone 1 and Phone 2, but that's an IPS panel. If you're looking at an AMOLED panel, the closest you can get is the OnePlus 7 Pro and the OnePlus 7T. Their fluid AMOLED panels support 90Hz refresh rate, but this combines AMOLED technology with very fast refresh rate, and the effect that you get from it is insane. Of course, it's harder to distinguish between 90Hz and 120Hz, but the jump from 60 to 90 itself is huge, and regardless of whether you're playing games or whether you're actually using it just for daily tasks, the difference is huge, and we recommend putting it on 120Hz, and you will notice a difference compared to 60Hz. The screen is a Full HD Plus panel. It's 19.5:9 aspect ratio, covered with Corning Gorilla Glass 6. It has 1 millisecond response time, so the screen is great in all aspects, be it for gaming or for regular use, and even the touch inputs are very good. We quite like the fact that there's no disruption to it anywhere. There's no notch, there's no punch hole camera, no display cutout, anything. And of course, there are bezels like I mentioned earlier, but it doesn't come at the cost of the screen experience itself. So whether you're gaming or watching videos, you will have an uninterrupted experience, and that's really, really great. Now coming to the the fingerprint scanner and the security features. Since it has an AMOLED screen, there is an in-display fingerprint scanner. It's not the fastest out there, nor is it something that I really think is a highlight of this device, considering that it tends to be a bit slow, and sometimes the success rate is not as high as some of the other smartphones out there. Also, I see this weird thing of the screen going green a bit, especially when you try to unlock it. I'm not sure why that happens. There could be various reasons. I'm not going to list all of them, but it does turn a bit greenish when you're trying to unlock it using the fingerprint scanner itself. But still, it's not a deal breaker. It's not really slow or anything. It's fairly fast, but not the fastest on the market. You also have face unlock feature, which relies on the front facing camera itself, and that too does a pretty good job. Now, speaking of the speakers, it's a stereo setup. Both are front facing, as they really want you to feel immersed into the gaming or into the videos that you're going to watch on this. And this is insanely loud. The loudest speakers that I actually heard till date was probably the Razer phone, but this blows all of the phones out of the water, not just in terms of the clarity or anything, but in terms of sheer loudness. And I think it can even go very close, if not match, my MacBook Pro's speaker setup. I'll be doing a speaker test actually soon after I record this A-roll, where I test the actual decibel outputted by both this phone and even the MacBook Pro to show you just how loud this can get. And for a phone, that's insanely loud. And I'll just put those figures on screen as well for you guys to notice. And Asus have not removed the 3.5mm audio jack as well. That's still there. You get great quality audio, 24-bit audio from that, and also virtual surround sound thanks to DTS:X technology. And apart from that, there are two USB ports as well. There's one at the bottom that's towards the left side of the bottom of the device, but then if you kind of feel that it's disrupting your gaming experience, you can use the other one, which is on the left side of the device. It's protected by a rubber flap by default, but opening it unveils the USB Type-C port. The bottom one is a Type-C 3.0, while the side one is actually a Type-C 3.1 Gen 2. So this one actually has the support for all the display outs that you're going to be using with the gaming accessories, the official gaming accessories. Some of them connect to this port here for both data as well as display out, and that's why this has a higher spec compared to the other thing. Now, also, while we're talking about the USB ports, it's also worth mentioning that on the official spec sheet, this shows that this supports USB power delivery, and this also does it, but there's a slight difference. Since this supports Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0, this supports 4.0 plus according to the official spec sheet. So if you want to use the faster charger, it's likely that you have to use this, but we didn't get the faster charger. What we got was the 18-watt charger itself in the box, but that too performs really well even using the bottom port, and we were able to charge it from 15% to 100% in 1 hour and 50 minutes roughly. That's insane considering that it was just using an 18-watt charger, and for a 6000 mAh battery, that's really impressive. So while we're talking about the 6000 mAh battery, it's also worth mentioning that this device is an endurance beast. It can last even the heaviest of users 2 days of entire use if you're using the 60 Hz or 90 Hz mode. In fact, the difference between the 60 Hz and 90 Hz battery life was not all that much, maybe half an hour screen on time, and we got up to 10 hours of screen on time on the 60 Hz mode, while if you're using the 120 Hz mode, you get up to 8.5 hours of screen on time, and that's really insane. So most phones can't even do 8.5 hours on 60 Hz, while this can do 8.5 hours on the 120 Hz mode, and that's really impressive. You can use it for whatever you want, and it'll just keep lasting you an entire day of use with ease. Even 2 days of use is not far off even for heavy users, but if you're gaming all the time, then you might have to charge it before the second day gets over. But that's really insane, and you can even use it as a power bank if you want. In terms of the internals, this comes with a specially bin 2.96 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 Plus, and it comes with either 8 or 12 GB of RAM and corresponding 128 or 512 GB of storage. It's UFS 3.0 storage, and you don't get memory expansion, but 128 is also not a bad start. Many people would be enough with 128, they'll be satisfied with that, and if you want anything more, you can go for the 512 GB variant as well. And apart from just the basic stuff, there's also other stuff that Asus have thought about and have actually implemented into this to enhance your gaming experience. So this has a total of 4 different microphones. So while you're gaming, you tend to cover the microphones that are there on the sides. So Asus has included 4 different microphones to make sure that your audio when you're gaming or interacting with your teammates while gaming is not really muffled, and that doesn't interrupt your gaming experience. And the same also goes for the Wi-Fi antenna. So rather than having one at just the top and bottom, they also have one at the middle, which kind of makes sense since you'll be holding the phone like this when you're gaming, and it doesn't interrupt the Wi-Fi experience also when you're doing so. And apart from that, you also have these touch sensitive sides over here, the air triggers, which add as extra buttons when you're using it, and it really helps and comes in handy and does not disrupt your screen experience or your view of the screen while gaming, which you would have to on other smartphones, considering there's no additional controls on the side. So this also comes with a bunch of different gaming accessories that you can buy. There's a whole lot of them. I think some of you might like the gaming controller in particular if you're into heavy mobile gaming. That would kind of give you a full screen experience, but they also have the display out. They have the twin view display, which also makes sense if you kind of want to watch YouTube videos while gaming. That's what they say you can do, and it actually does work. So it can do a whole lot of things, and there are a lot of accessories to support that. And it's also great to note that it would be supported in the future generation ROG phones as well. So the ROG 1 is currently supported, the 2 is supported, and even 3 will be supported. So whatever money you're going to invest would not actually go to waste immediately. So I'm not sure if the 4th generation would be supported, but up until 3 at least is supported for sure, and that's a good thing that ASUS have done. You also get Android 9 Pie out of the box, and this is the gaming sort of look for it, but you can also offer a more classic look with a regular looking icon similar to what the Asus 6Z gave. So Zen UI has become quite light right now. It's not as heavy as it used to be. There's not much bloatware also, and that's a good thing that Asus have done. And they also are committed to updates, is what they're telling me. They haven't promised an exact update schedule or the number of years that they would provide security patches and updates for, but they are committed to the cause, and they would like to kind of give it as much as they can, is what they have told me. In terms of the camera setup, Asus have gone for a setup similar to the Asus 6Z. So at the back you get a 48 megapixel f1.79 Sony IMX586 sensor. It shoots in 12 megapixel by default to get 1.6 micron pixel bin images. You also get a secondary f2.4 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with 124-degree field of view, and that's very wide. There are a few phones out there which have like 117-degree field of view, not really wide, not really as useful. So I feel that this is really great in that aspect. And at the front you also get a 24 megapixel f2.2 camera for selfies also. And overall I feel that for a gaming phone this is a great setup. And there is generally the kind of notion that gamers don't capture photos as much as other users, but I think gamers also do. So while they might not be looking for the ultimate camera phone on the market, it's still good to have some sort of decent or good image quality, and I think this delivers on that front and does better than any other gaming phone on the market, even in terms of the camera. So to wrap things up, the ROG Phone 2, the price point it starts at is rupees 37,990, and that is insane value for money. Like, I remember talking to a few fellow YouTubers at the launch event, and all of us were kind of expecting 40 to 45k, 45k being the realistic price, 40k being the hopeful price, but they priced it at 38,000 practically, which is insane value for money. And I also said that in case the OnePlus 70 is priced at the same, which it is, I would personally pick this over the OnePlus 70, and that's for a whole another video. We're going to be doing a video as to why I would pick this over the 70. Stay tuned for that. But if you're looking for a gaming smartphone on the market, there is no better phone on the market than the ROG Phone 2. And even if you're looking for something with high-end performance, a lot of features, good battery life, great screen, fairly good camera quality, great audio quality, then the ROG Phone 2 is still amazing and is one of my favorite phones of the year. Well done Asus for this, and it's going to be really hard for you guys to top ROG Phone 2. I mean, I was speaking to Dinesh, the head of Asus Mobile India, and he was telling me that they have to top ROG Phone 1. How do they do that? And they actually did it. They actually made a phone that's way better in almost every aspect than the ROG Phone 1, which itself was a great phone. But now that they have done so much more with the ROG Phone 2, where do they go from here? I think only Asus can answer that, and we'll find out sometime next year. But until then, this is a really solid smartphone that almost every one of you will enjoy for sure, and in fact is better than the OnePlus 70 in so many different ways, and we'll be talking about that in our upcoming video as well. Thanks for watching this video. Do let us know if you have any questions in the comment section below. See you again in the next one.